The NBA playoffs have been in full swing. We waited till the end of the Sixers-Hawks game on Wednesday night to record this episode, and the Sixers just collapsed. Atlanta was able to come back with a strong performance from Trae Young. Philly, the fans booing their own team, but we're not going to see that on Thursday necessarily. We're going to see Brooklyn traveling to Milwaukee, and that's an interesting little fan base and dynamic, as well as we've seen some comments regarding Giannis hasn't been told to cover KD. Maybe that's foul trouble, what have you. But Brett, we have an interesting line of Brooklyn plus 5.5. They are big underdogs in this game as they head to Milwaukee. And I don't know if I necessarily believe that after the performance we saw from Kevin Durant with a very injured James Harden, who is basically a decoy, and without Kyrie, who's sidelined with an ankle injury. Kevin Durant showed he is still the player he was before that Achilles injury, still showed he is one of the best scorers in NBA history, one of the best players in the NBA right now. So I'm going to back the Nets on the money line at plus 185 because I feel like this could be a line that we see move a little bit. We already know Harden's potentially going to be playing in this next game, but I could see this line moving a little bit more because we saw it move a lot with that Harden news last game.
Higgins, this was a line that I loved because I felt like this is going to be a one-possession basketball game. You mentioned how great the previous game was. I agree. Kevin Durant stood on his head, but that's what great players do in the postseason when they're needed and relied upon, right? Like, how many times have we seen Dame Lillard win a game, LeBron James win a game? Kevin Durant is as good, if not better, than those two. So, I don't expect him to come out and fall short of the challenge. I expect it to be a tight, close game, like we've seen in the last Nets-Milwaukee game, like we saw in this Sixers-Hawks game on Wednesday night, Higgins. So I'm selling some points here for the Brooklyn Nets.
Ooh.
I'm selling 2 points, getting the Nets plus 3.5 at plus 132 odds. So I didn't like the 110 Higgins at plus 5.5, although I do think the Nets will cover that if you want to bet it. Or rather, I don't think Milwaukee will cover the 5.5 on their end. But I decided this is going to be one possession. I'll sell 2 points back, still get the full 3. So if the Nets lose by 3, that's okay. And yeah, I get plus 132.
At the beginning of this series, I was saying that I thought Brooklyn would potentially sweep the Bucks. Maybe the Bucks grabbed one at home. They surprised me and grabbed both games at home in games 3 and 4. I don't think they're going to go 3-0 at home in this series, though. The Nets, that's why I'm taking them on the money line. I think they're going to end it in game 6 here and move on to the Eastern Conference Finals.
I don't know, Higgins. I think you need to adjust your handicap when you lose 2 of your 3 stars.
You do a little bit, I agree, but that's why I think that plus 185 is some fantastic value, because we saw Kevin Durant can put them on his back, and we're going to talk about that game a little bit more later, Brett.